A popular Spanish film, The Teacher Who Promised the Sea, comes with certain demands on us. The first is a nodding acquaintance with the brutal Spanish Civil War of the late 1930s, which for many of us is limited to a vague memory of an Ernest Hemingway novel, the Picasso painting Guernica, and the disappointing outcome that fascist dictator Franco won.
A partir de este momento, el ejército toma el control de este pueblo y de toda la provincia. Quiero que todos vayáis a vuestras casas y traigáis cualquier libro cuaderno de mierda que tenga que ver con este maestro comunista. La caja.
The Teacher Who Promised the Sea opens a little earlier than that with a more familiar character, the noble and inspiring teacher. His name is Antonio Benitez. His slightly exotic, not quite Spanish name is an indication Antonio is Catalan from Barcelona.
Resulta que esta es ahora mi escuela, no su escuela. Y las cosas, a partir de ahora, se van a hacer a mi manera.
Now, all I really know about Catalonia is it's got its own language. Most DVDs used to offer Catalan as one of the alternative translations and don't call them Spanish. This may be one of the reasons why Antonio's class starts out so poorly attended. The other reason is a suspicion of his left-wing politics.
El Pecesorios pues se junta con el río Tirón y después este se junta a un río más grande que se llama Ebro y al final toda esta agua llega al mar.
Es bonito.
¿El qué?
El mar.
El mar. Sí, es bonito.
Much of the story is told in flashback. The film opens 60-odd years later with a young woman called Ari on a mission for her ailing grandfather Carlos to find out what happened to his father, Ari's great-grandfather Bernardo. And the places she's looking, shockingly, are hundreds of mass graves.
Estoy buscando a mi bisabuelo, Bernardo Ramírez.
Todo el país está lleno de fosas. En todas partes se llevaron a cabo ejecuciones.
When Franco rounded up his enemies, he seemed to take very few prisoners. One mass grave is found near Carlos's home village, where Antonio taught at the local school. As Ari investigates, she learns what happened when the kids of the village met their eccentric teacher.
Antonio Benitez, encantado. ¿Sabéis si va a venir alguien más?
Mi bisabuelo compartió calabozo con su maestro, un tal Benitez.
Ari finds that some of her grandfather's old classmates are still alive. They remember Antonio's unique approach to teaching, one based on a printing press, and an invitation to the children to write their own books on whatever subject interested them.
Se llama imprenta. Con ella vamos a publicar nuestros propios cuadernos. Cuanto más aprenda ahora Emilio en la escuela, más opciones tendrá para su futuro.
No me va a decir usted a mí lo que es mejor para mi hijo.
But first, Antonio has to convince people outside the class. The current government may be progressive, but the politics of a rural village are far more conservative, notably the local priest, the reactionary parents of some of the kids, and the right-wing mayor.
En cuanto a tus artículos, tú no tienes un pelo de tonto, Antonio, y no es buen momento para hacerlo.
The mayor's daughter, Josefina, thumbnail description, a little madam, is one of the lead characters, as is the nervous, decent Emilio, who, decades later, proves a big help to Ari as she finds out about her grandfather, Carlos. And Carlos's own story becomes the heart of The Teacher Who Promised the Sea.
¿Listos? Ya.
Y ese de ahí es Carlos, abuelo. No voy a tolerar este comportamiento en clase, Carlos?
With no family after his communist father Bernardo is tossed into jail, the young Carlos was reluctantly taken under the wing of Antonio, and Carlos proved the biggest handful of the lot to start with.
Los niños tienen que ser lo que ellos quieran, pero sobre todo, tienen que ser niños.
Eres el maestro más raro que ha pisado nunca este pueblo.
Antonio gets support from his colourful cleaning lady Charo, a gift role for veteran Spanish actress Luisa Cavassa. And the event that wins over both classmates and their parents is when Antonio discovers none of the children have ever seen the sea. So he makes the titular promise to show them.
Escuchadme un momento. ¿Queréis escribir todo lo que sabéis sobre el mar?
Sí. Sí.
¿Volvemos a la escuela y hacemos un cuaderno especial, un cuaderno sobre el mar?
Sí.
Pues vamos.
Well, don't make promises on the eve of a civil war is the lesson here. When the fascist-led army takes over, the first thing they do is burn the children's self-made books. And you don't need Picasso to draw the symbolism here.
Carlos, ¿dónde está Antonio?
No pierdas la esperanza. Esperanza tengo, porque no tengo tiempo.
Of course, 60 or 70 years later, it's a lot easier to make the right decisions. But for the teacher who promised the sea, the risks of getting it wrong could be fatal.
¿Os gustaría ver el mar?
Sí. Sí.
Pues quiero que enseñéis este cuaderno en casa y que vuestros padres lo lean, que les digáis que este verano el maestro os llevará a ver el mar.